Hello, I'm David from David's Way to Health and Fitness. Today I want to talk to you about my article, Childhood Obesity and Nutrition. Folks, in America we have a problem with our children are getting more and more overweight every year, and about 10 to 15% of those children, I could be a little bit wrong on that percentage, but about 10 to 15% of them are morbidly obese. But regardless of what that particular number is, we have children with weight problems all across America, and it may not seem like a big deal, to some people that children are suffering, from weight, but it's a huge problem because it's not uncommon anymore for doctors, pediatricians and such to see morbidly obese children at 10 years old that are already suffering from type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, which type 2 diabetes is a part of, and high blood pressure. And it used to be you never heard anybody getting ailments like that, until they were in, at least their 50s or, late 40s. But now we have, young children that are getting this, and, I really think it's a shame that we're allowing this to happen with our children. And, part of the problem is we've gotten to an age now where everybody's afraid to let their children go outside and play by themselves, and we have, most of our children now are being cooped up inside the house. A lot of them, mama's got a lot of things to do. She may have a lot of worries. Dad may or may not be in the house. Sometimes even if he is, it don't matter. But, we got children that are being set down in front of their television sets with, sugary treats and breakfast cereals and what have you. And, they sit there and they watch TV all day, or they sit around and drink, soda pops and stuff, and play video games all day, and just pig out on snack foods. And the problem with that is they're becoming obese. Children just don't get out and play like they used to, and children need that play. They need to burn up that activity. And what happens a lot of times, and I'm not going to get into the way of your doctor's and any diagnosis your child may have, but a lot of times children are given Ritalin and such because they're hyperactive, and it's not really that they're hyperactive. They're just kids being kids. Kids are full of a lot of energy, and they need to get outside and expend that energy instead of sitting around. It's not uncommon too, for obese children to have more behavioral problems, and I'm not saying that they're bad children. Quite to the contrary, I don't believe that they're bad children. I believe they're bad parents in a lot of cases. And children are a product of their society they grow up in. And what we have here with the children in the obesity epidemic that we're facing nationwide, we have about a 68% of our population that are either overweight or morbidly obese as a whole. You got to figure that, look at how many, what the percentage of children would be that we have, within that percentage. Healthcare is an expensive thing, and when we allow our children to get this way, what happens is we set them up for future health problems. You might think, today, it's pretty easy to give in and let little Susie or whatever have a package of powdered sugar donuts or whatever, or a package of cookies, so they'll shut up and be quiet and sit quietly in front of the TV. But what we do when we do these things is we're setting our children up for future health issues. You may be thinking in the moment that you're making your child happy, and by giving into these things, and you are making them happy in the moment, but you're causing them years of future misery. If they end up with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and other metabolic disorders as a result of the foods that they're eating right now, they're going to have a lifetime of misery facing them. That is a fact. You can't even argue that with intelligently. If you got a good intelligent argument, I'd be glad to hear it. But I'm telling you right now, there's nothing out there that says, that children with weight problems today are not destined to have any kind of health problems with their weight, and it's just going to happen at some future point. Uh, we don't, who wants to set their children up for that? I don't want to. I've got children. Well, they're all grown now. I got grandchildren. I don't want to see them set up, for future health problems. I don't want them to have current health problems. I don't want their quality of life to be diminished because we thought it would be a good idea to just set them down, not allow them to play, and you know feed them all kinds of sweet treats. So if your child has a weight problem, and a lot of times, just like us as adults, they'll get addicted to sugar, carb addictions, and it's going to be hard to break them of it. And but it's something you're going to have to do if they got a weight problem. It's just necessary. It's going to save their lives is what it's going to do. And you can start feeding them good nutritious snacks and stuff, fruits and vegetables. You can get creative with a lot of different things. You can get really creative with unflavored Greek yogurt by putting flavor mix-ins with it. There's sugar-free products made by Tang and Mio that are really great to put into a sugar-free yogurt that makes them really delicious, and your child can have fun helping you to mix that up for them. And then you can put other things in there, to make it a little bit crunchy, maybe sunflower seeds or whatever. But the point is get creative in your kitchen, and and coming further off of that, a lot of us go out there nowadays and we feed our children nothing but junk food. A lot of kids eat 2 to 3 meals a day, or maybe their only meal of the day is coming from a fast food drive-through. Folks, when you're feeding your kid nothing but fast food, the problem is they're not getting the nutrition that they need. They're not getting all the protein. They're getting too many simple carbohydrates and too many unhealthy fats and lots of sodium. You're doing a disservice to your child and to yourself if you're feeding your child every day of the week, as what happens in some households. Uh, it's not cheaper. It's not cheaper in the least to feed your child like that. And you might want to argue that healthy foods are expensive and time consuming. I'm going to argue that they're not, because when you eat healthy, you have fewer trips to the doctor's office. You have fewer trips to the grocery store, fewer trips to the fast food and such. You spend less money when you're filling yourself up on whole nutritious foods instead of these processed foods and foods that contain lots of sugars and unhealthy fats and preservatives with names that you can't even pronounce. That's no way to live. Nobody should be feeding herself that stuff, let alone feeding it to your children. But you can save money with giving them whole healthy foods. All you got to do is go to the store, spend the money on it, get it, and then fix your child 3 healthy meals a day. It's not hard. It's not time consuming. You can do this in the same amount of time or less time than what it would take for you to get into your car, pack your children in, get them all buckled up, go drive through the McDonald's drive-through somewhere, and then come back home and eat. You can prepare a meal at home in the same amount of time. And if you're smart, you're going to get your children involved in helping you prepare these meals. They'll eat it better when they were a part of preparing it, and you're doing them the great service of teaching them how to cook at a young age. And when you teach them how to cook at a young age, you're setting them up for a better life, because they won't be dependent on going to fast food places because they don't know how to cook. So, bottom line is, as parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, uh, we owe better to our children to feed them better in America. I know times are rough right now, and things are getting more expensive, but we can still do a better job as Americans. It's always been my thought, as parents, that we should try to try to give our children a better life than the ones we had growing up. So um, I would think that would be the goal of every parent out there is give your child a better life than the one you had. Um, that's not even saying that your childhood had to have been bad. Your childhood could have been good. My childhood was pretty good, but I always strove to give my children a better life than I had. And that's we just owe our children better. Start feeding your children better. Get your children outside to play. Get out there and get involved with them. Okay, that's that's all I'm asking. Get involved with your children, feed them correctly, get them out and play. You can take them out to the park, go walking. There's lots of things you can do. All you got to do is get a little bit of creative and take a little bit of time. If you got time to Netflix and chill, you got time to do something with your children. So I'm out. God bless. Y'all have a good day.